Hello everyone, and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. This is Keith, and tonight we're going to be revisiting Escape from New York, and we'll be using the United States Police Force expansion. For this playthrough, I'll be using a solo character, and it's going to be Snake Plissken again. This expansion introduces Bob Houck's police forces to the game. Bob Houck will give you tasks during the game and will send cops to help you with the mission. Beware, with this expansion, escaping from New York will be even harder. So we'll have to see what we're in for with this. The game is basically set up as according to the rules in the original rulebook with the following changes. During step 9 of the setup, which we would be creating our timer deck, instead of placing 9 of the standard timer cards during the setup, they only get 8 with this expansion included. During step 11, when we're setting up our case cards, a new card from the expansion is introduced, and it's called the Tracer. And that card will let us use the helicopter instead of a diagram of the bridge to escape. During step 14, when we set up our item deck, we're going to remove the 2 fake tape cards. And then there's also 2 charge extractor cards from this expansion. Those are going to be set aside. And we're going to shuffle the rest of the cards and then randomly remove 2 of them from the game without revealing them. Then we're going to put the 2 fake tape and 2 charge extractor cards back into the deck and shuffle it to create the item deck. Our new elements are going to include the United States Police Force display along with the Bob Houck token. His miniature will track the different police force special actions that will be available to us. As his token is moved down the track, additional cop actions will be unlocked for us, and we're able to utilize any cop action where his token stands or above him. And eventually all 3, hopefully, will be unlocked, and we can utilize any of those choices. Since we're playing a 1-player game, we have 8 available cops in our available cops area. Those can be deployed to the board to assist us. Cops are added to the game board by resolving task cards. At the bottom of the display, you'll see that we have 3 available tasks that Snake Plissken can attempt to complete. If he does so, he's able to draw the reward card that is attached to that card. Cops are not affected by enemies, and they never take damage, and they can freely move in and out of spaces with enemies, but they can only move onto revealed spaces. They cannot move onto or reveal unrevealed spaces. If a hero has a weapon that lets him inflict additional damage, and they activate cops to inflict damage, the cops' damage is not increased by the weapon. Cops cannot collect or use cars. If there is a cop in the same space as a prisoner and an abandoned car, the prisoner will not be able to collect the car. On the left side of the display is the task cards, and on the right side are the reward cards. Now, the task cards are going to include something called transition cards, and the number that you see on there is going to end up being important to us during the victory conditions. Now, with this expansion, there is an additional victory condition that we're going to need to handle. In addition to win collective victory, we have to have the president card, the tape, a diagram of the bridge matching the bridge adjacent to them, and then they also have to reveal their reward cards, and the total sum must be equal to or higher than the one indicated on the transition 2 to 3 card. One of them also must perform a movement action onto the bridge. So those are the requirements that we're going to have to meet in order to escape from New York. And we'll look at these components more closely as we play. As the game begins, we need to have at least 1 reward point because our transition card is at 1. So we're going to need to have at least 1 of these cards completed in order to attempt to escape from New York. But as these cards are revealed, different values will appear there, and we're going to need more and higher numbered reward cards in order to win. And before we begin, let's take a closer look at these task cards. The first one is someone escaping? Reach a tile with a raft token. Second one is gather information. Reach the coffee shop tile. And third, track the president's signal. You must own the revealed president's bracelet. If revealed to complete this task, do not resolve its effects. All right. Now, as a part of this expansion and its new setup, we have revealed one location on the board that was adjacent to one of the 4 bridges, and we've randomly selected Bridge 4, and that is the location card for that area. Now, as we're playing a solo game, I'm going to obviously attempt to win the collective victory. I will use the lone victory conditions if the situation gets to be untenable, and then we would take that as a secondary victory if we're able to complete that, but I'm going to be trying for the collective victory. So the game opens with Snake Plissken at the library, and we're going to begin our round. Now, Snake Plissken will begin the game with his MAC-10 submachine gun. He has 3 ammunition to start out with. He has 2 personal objectives, and one of them is if the president has been rescued by any hero or the top timer tile is red, you may complete a lone victory by escaping from New York on the Gulfire. His next one is if the president has been rescued by any hero or the top timer is red, you may complete a lone victory if you have the tape. All right, now we're also going to begin the game with a new action card. And this is part of the police force expansion. Each character will gain this card for his action hand. And this is We Go In. And it has 2 noise when it's played, and it says resolve an active task card and or activate the unlocked cop's actions. So that will allow us to use those actions that are available with the Hauk model, and wherever he is on that track, we can utilize all of the actions that have been unlocked at that point. Okay, so we're going to begin our hero phase with Snake Plissken, and we're going to draw our 2 action cards for this round. For this first round, I have selected 2 keep moving cards. So we're going to play our first card, and that says, if there are no enemies in your space, move a space and then reveal any one empty space next to you. All right, I think we're going to head north, and I'm going to move there, and then we can reveal an empty space, and there's 3 of them adjacent to us. And I think we will reveal the one that is adjacent to that point of interest. And that is revealed to be a building. Heroes in this space ignore all damage received. Okay, so that's a good spot for us. That's great. Our second card is going to be another keep moving, and I'm going to do some reconnaissance and try to figure out what is the best path for us. So if there are no enemies in our space, we move a space and then reveal any empty space next to us. So we're going to move here, and I'm going to reveal that location, and we'll see what we've got here. This time, we've got a barricade, an enemy, and it is an event location. So we're going to place an enemy and a barricade. All right, we have no car, so we don't get to move in our car during step 5. Now we'll move on to step 6, and we will discard the 2 cards that we just played and make noise. Well, we've played 2 keep moving cards, and that is going to be a total of 2 noise. So let's see what kind of noise we've created. So we're going to advance our noise marker up 2 points. Now we would receive any damage from enemies in range. Currently there are no enemies in range. We could level up, but we haven't met our criteria. We need to kill 2 prisoners in order to get our first level. And then finally, we could activate a building, if any, in our space. Well, there is not. So we're going to go to the New York phase now. We'll begin the phase by discarding the top card of the New York deck, and then we're going to move the noise up by 1. We're at 3. Then we have to decide if we can pay that noise amount from the track, and we can't. There's 4 noise on that card, and we only have 3. So in this case, we discard the card without revealing it and raise the noise by 1. We're at 4. Then we would consult the current card and any enemies that would move into the space with Snake Plissken from those directions. There are no enemies in those spaces, so the New York phase ends. So we'll begin a new round, and we still have 7 cards in our action deck, so we are going to continue by choosing 2 action cards to use during the round. And I've selected the action cards Bulldoze Through and Take a Breather, and we'll begin with Bulldoze Through. And that says move a space, destroying a roadblock in your way, if any, and then reveal any empty space next to you. So we're going to hit south, and we're going to reveal that space here that's adjoining that point of interest. And that space has 2 prisoners and a roadblock. All right, so we'll place the prisoners in their assigned spaces and the roadblock as well. And I think Snake is going to use his MAC-10 submachine gun. That says any number of times during your turn, before or after an action, you can spend 1 ammo to inflict 2 damage in range 1. The noise will be increased by 1 for each ammo spent. Card cannot be discarded to level up. So we're going to spend 1 of our 3 ammunition, and Snake is going to take out both of the prisoners that are in the adjoining space that has a range of 1 and that matches his MAC-10 submachine gun. So we've killed these 2 prisoners, and we're going to add them to our level up track. And that's going to raise the noise up by 1. We're at 5 now. Then for our next action card, we're going to use the Take a Breather. Return up to 2 discarded action cards of your choice to your hand. And we're going to return the 2 Keep Moving cards to our active hand. And that's going to complete Snake's actions for the round. We're going to discard the 2 cards we played, taking noise, and we've used up a total of 2 noise. That's going to move our noise track up to 7. All right, next there would be any damage from enemies in range. There is none. And step 8, we can level up, and we have enough to do that. We've met the requirements for a level up. We had to take out 2 prisoners, and that is going to reveal our level 1 special action. And it says here, choose and add 1 special action card to our hand. All right. So we have 3 special actions that are currently off board, and we can add 1 of those to our hand now. We have Not My Plan, steal an item, a case, or the president card from a hero in your space. After stealing, move a space and then reveal any empty space next to you. Then remove the card from the game. So that's not so good. We've got Intimidate. It costs 3 noise. Trick up to 3 enemies in your space, even if they can't normally be tricked. That's decent. And then we have Speed Run. 2 noise, move a space, then reveal 1 empty space next to you. If there are no enemies in your new space, you may move 1 space again and reveal any 1 empty space next to you. And we're going to take that one. We're kind of in this position now where we are basically doing reconnaissance to kind of see which paths are going to be the most favorable to us. So we're going to add this card to our action hand. And that's going to be very helpful for us. And then we can reveal what our next level up is. And in this case, we need to have a prisoner and an item. And the last part of our turn would be to activate a building, and we're not in one. What I'm basically trying to do with these initial steps is to not make too much noise, and then kind of just recon the area around the library to find out which path is going to be the best for us. And I learned from the first game I played, I ended up making way too much noise at the end of the game, and I couldn't handle that. So we're going to try to keep that noise in check if possible. We'll move on to the New York phase. And we'll start our New York phase by discarding the top card and moving the noise marker up one. We're at 8. All right, and then we can see if we can pay this noise that's on the active card. It's 4, and we can do that. So we're going to lower our noise by 4, and we have to resolve this card. And this is Ambush. Move all bosses in play towards your space using manholes. 2. All the enemies attack heroes in range, choosing the target to attack in ascending hand size order. The current player breaks ties. Well, there's no bosses on the board, so we've gotten lucky with that. That's going to go into the discard. Then our last step is to move all enemies from the adjacent spaces indicated by the arrows on the back of the top card of the New York deck into our space. Well, we don't have any enemies near us, so they won't be moving. And we'll begin our next round, and I'm going to select the cards Speed Run and Keep Moving, and we'll start with the Speed Run. And that card says, move one space, then reveal any empty space next to you. If there are no enemies in your new space, you may move one space again and reveal any one empty space next to you. Ignore events during these movements. So we're going to move into this location. I think we're going to reveal that location with that suburbs marker on it. We're looking for a raft. That's one of the items that task items that we're looking for with the new expansion. So we'll see what's there. And that is revealed to be one prisoner, one item, and a manhole. Okay, so the manhole will stay there, and we'll get the tokens out for that reveal. All right, so we've got an enemy, prisoner, item, and a roadblock going into the point of interest. Next part of that card says that if there's no enemies in our new space, we can move one space again and then reveal another empty space, and I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to move into this location, and we're going to reveal the space in front of that point of interest. We'll see what's there. And we have a building. It's a hospital. It also has a prisoner there. So we'll place the prisoner there, and I think Snake is going to use his submachine gun. We're going to deduct another ammunition point from it, giving us 1 left, and we're going to take out this enemy here. We're going to place that on our card as a part of our level up. And our next card is a Keep Moving card. If there are no enemies in your space, move a space, then reveal any one empty space next to us. So we're going to move into that hospital, and we'll be able to activate that at the end of the turn. And I think we are going to reveal this space here. So we'll see what that is. And that one is a prisoner, an item, and a roadblock. So we have a prisoner, an item, and a roadblock. All right. So we'll discard the 2 cards that we have. We've used up 3 noise, and we'll move the noise up accordingly. That's going to move our noise up to 7. Next up, we would receive damage from enemies in range, and there are none. None of the enemies have more than a range of 0 presently, so if there's none in our space, we're in good shape. We could level up, but we don't have an item token, so we would need an item token to do that. Finally, we can activate a building in our space, and we will. If you activate this building, return up to 2 discarded action cards of your choice to your hand. And I've decided to take the Bulldoze Through and take a Breather cards, and those will be returned to our action hand. All right. We'll move on to our New York phase. We're going to discard the top card and move the noise up by 1. We're at 8. And then we have to attempt to pay that cost, and we can do that. That's 4. So we'll move our noise down by 4 and then resolve the card. And this one is Ambush again. Move all bosses in play. Well, there are none. So we've dodged another bullet there. That'll go to the discard. There are currently only one card remaining in the New York deck. And the instructions on the card say, at any moment when there is only one card in the New York deck, immediately shuffle all New York action cards to create a new deck, including any prisoner bonuses. So that's what we're going to do. We'll shuffle the deck. And then, consulting the card, we'll look at those arrows and see if there are any enemies that will be moving that are adjacent to us. So if we examine the top New York card, that tells us where the enemies will be moving relative to Snake's location. So that means there would be a movement along this road and a movement along this road. There would have to be enemies in those spaces. There aren't. So that is going to end the round. Now, I don't know if this is the best strategy, but what I've been trying to do is kind of just do some reconnaissance around the library and see what tiles are out there. What I'm really trying to find is an ammo store, a gun shop, so I can make sure I've got some ammo, because right now I'm down to one ammo, and I don't want to get in a position where I have no ammunition. I'm desperately searching for a gun store. So that's what I've been trying to do. So we're going to start our next turn. I'm going to draw a couple cards here and see what we are going to play. All right, I'm going to play Keep Moving and Fighting Retreat. So we'll start out with the Keep Moving card. And I'm going to move into the space with this prisoner that's there. We'll move into that space. Then I'm going to play the Fighting Retreat card. And that says, inflict 2 damage in your space. After attacking, move a space. You may move any number of willing heroes in your space with you, and then reveal an empty space next to you. So we'll do the 2 damage. That'll take out the prisoner. Now we've got an event token that is there. I'm sorry, a item token. And we're going to exchange that for an item. We'll do that. We'll see what's there. And that's revealed to be a trash can lid. Ignore all damage you receive until your next turn. So we'll place that in our personal supply. We can carry a maximum of 3 of those items in our personal supply. So now the next part of the card is we can reveal any one empty space next to us. And I think we will reveal the space here, and that'll be adjacent to that point of interest. Let's see what's there. That's revealed to be, we got the gun store. That's what we wanted. That's great. It's got a manhole cover and the ammunition store. That's great. And then the token is another manhole. Okay, well, you can only have one there, so that won't matter. All right, that's good. All right, now we're going to discard the 2 cards and make noise, and we've spent a total of 3 noise. And that's going to move our noise up to 7. And that's going to complete our turn, so we'll move on to the New York phase. All right, the New York phase, we're going to discard the top card and move noise up by 1. We're at 8, and we can pay the cost of that card, so we're going to deduct 4 noise, moving us down to 4, and then we have to resolve this card. And that's an ambush card again. There are no bosses on the board, so we're in good shape for the time being. There are no adjacent enemies to us, so that is going to complete the round. All right, we're ready for our next round. I'm going to choose the cards Take a Breather and Bulldoze Through, and we'll start with Bulldoze Through. So we'll play that card, and that says move a space, destroying a roadblock, if any, and then reveal 1 empty space next to us. So we're going to move into the gun store area, and I can maybe get my ammo back. And then it says to reveal space next to us, and we'll try this suburbs space, and I'm kind of looking for a raft so we can complete one of those one of our tasks that we have. And one of those is to reach a tile with a revealed raft token. So we're going to reveal this space. We'll see what that is. And that is a prisoner, an item, roadblock, and a manhole. Okay. So we'll get those tokens out. Okay, so we've got a prisoner, item, and the roadblock. Okay. I think what we'll do is, since we're in a space that we're going to be able to recover our ammunition, I'm going to have Snake use his last ammo point, and he's going to take out this prisoner that's here with his submachine gun. Now we'll play our next card, and that's that Take a Breather, and that's going to allow us to return 2 discarded cards of our choice. And I'm going to return to my hand the Speed Run and Fighting Retreat cards. All right. So we're going to discard the 2 cards we played and move the noise up by 2. Noise is at 6, and now we're going to activate the building in our space, and that says if you activate this building, draw 2 item cards, keep 1 and discard the other, or reload up to 2 ammo in your weapon. So that's what we're going to do. And Snake is going to have 2 ammo again. All right, that'll complete the round, and we'll move to the New York phase. Okay, we'll move up our noise by 1, discard the card, and then see what happens. We have 4 points there, so we're going to deduct 4 from our noise. That moves us down to 3, and then we'll resolve the card, and it says the big plan. Move a number of mission cubes equal to the event level to the right box, if possible. Then, if there are no mission cubes in the left box, reveal 1 timer and return all mission cubes to the left. So we've got to move a mission token to the right box. All right. Then we would move any enemies that are adjacent to us. There are none, so that will complete the New York phase. Okay, we'll begin our next round, and I'm going to select the cards Speed Run and Fight. And I'm going to be going into that point of interest. So we're going to start out with Speed Run. And that'll allow us to move a space and reveal an empty space. So we'll move in, and we're going to reveal, I believe, this space here. So we'll see what's there. And that is a manhole cover and a prisoner and a blocked road. So we'll place those items on the map. Whoops. And then we'll see what we've got here at this point of interest. And that is the plane crash. Okay, so there's 3 prisoners there, and it says when you reveal this space, put case number 4 here. Okay, let's do that. All right, so we've got 3 prisoners in that location. And case number 4. All right. Now our card says that if there were no enemies in the new space, we could move a space again, so we cannot. So that card is played. Now we're going to use our next card, and I chose the Fight card. Inflict 3 damage in your space, and that's just enough to get rid of these guys. So we've got 3 enemies that are removed. And now, since there are no enemies and we're in a space with the case, we can take that case and we'll see what's in it. And that case contains the President's Bracelet. You may complete a lone victory at any time. Reveal this card to prevent the discard of 1 timer tile from the timer deck. If you do, this card remains revealed for the rest of the game. All right, so we're going to put that into our personal supply. That's our second card. And then this case number 4 token will go back to the board for possible future use if we discard that bracelet for any chance. All right, now we do have a task that says track the signal, track the President's signal. You must own the revealed President's Bracelet. If revealed to complete this task, do not resolve its effects. So we can use that, our special action card, which is We Go In. next turn. It says resolve an active task card and or activate the unlocked cop's actions. So that will be good for us. All right, that is going to complete our actions. We don't have any damage coming in. There's just a prisoner that is next door to us, but he doesn't have any range yet. So we're going to get rid of these cards and see how much time we've used. Now we've used a total of 4 time today. All right. That moves our timer up to 7, and we'll go to the New York phase now. And we'll begin by moving the noise up 1 and discarding the top card. And then we can pay for this card. It's 4, so that'll move us down to 4, and we have to play the card, and that is the big plan. Move a number of mission cubes equal to the event level. So we're going to be moving 1 of those over. We're at 2 now. And that will complete that portion. Now we have to do movements into our space. So they'll be moving from the west to east and from south to north. Let's see if there's any there. And there's not. It would be moving from that northerly road, which would be in here. There's nothing there and nothing to the south. So that will bring our round to a close, and we've finally investigated a point of interest. All right, I've got 4 cards left, and we're going to use the We Go In card and the Fighting Retreat card. And I'm going to start with the We Go In card. And that says, for 2 noise, resolve an active task card and or activate the unlocked cop actions. So we're going to do that. And our first resolving an active task, and that's this track the president's signal. You must own the revealed president's bracelet. If revealed, to complete this task, do not resolve its effects. And we do have the bracelet. So we would reveal the bracelet, and we don't follow any of the instructions though. So that's going to earn us, then we have success. It says add 1 cop to a revealed space connected to a bridge or the space where the helicopter has landed. Then gain the reward card. So we're going to place a cop on one of the bridges, and I think we'll place that right here. That's connected to the bridge number 2, and we'll place that there. And then we can reveal our reward, and let's see what we get for that. The reward is 1 point. Okay, so we're going to keep that, and that goes in our above our display, and then we refill that active task with a new card. Okay, so we've placed that completed task at the top of the board with its reward, and I found out from reading the rules more carefully, we don't replace the missing task until a timer token is revealed, and not discarded but revealed. Then we would replace, placing a 1 in the leftmost slot, and then these would move over to the right. So that's how that works. Now, we played this We Go In card. It also says that we can and or activate the unlocked cop action. So we can use the first action where Hauk is at, and it says move all cops 1 space or all cops inflict 1 damage at range 1. So we're going to do that. So this cop that we placed there earlier near the bridge number 2 is going to inflict 1, and he'll take out that prisoner that's in his space. Then we're going to play our next card, and that's the Fighting Retreat card. It says inflict 2 damage in your space. After attacking, move a space, and then we can reveal an empty space that's not that's adjacent to us. So I think what we'll do is I'll move into the space with the cop, and then we're going to reveal this space here. We'll see what's there, and that is a hospital. That's interesting. All right. Okay, that's going to complete the round. We have to move the noise up by 4 to account for the cards that we just played. That'll move us up to 8. And that's going to complete the round. We'll go to the New York phase. Okay, the New York phase, we're going to move up our noise to 9 and discard. Oh, we're down to 1 card, so we have to reshuffle this all of our discards here. I'll do that first. Okay, so the New York deck is shuffled. We got to discard the top card and then take care of the noise. That's 4 points. That'll move us down to 5, and then we have to resolve this. And that's the big plan. And we'll have to move a mission token over to the right. So there's 3 out of the 4 in there now. And then enemies would move. There are no adjacent enemies, so that will end the round. All right, we're going to start a new round, and I don't have any movement cards available. I've just got skirmish and butt whooping. So we're going to use that optional first step, and we're going to discard a timer to recover actions. All right, so we're going to reveal that first timer card, and then it's going to get us all of our discards back, and we'll see what we've got here. And this one is advance the event level token 1 space and then resolve an event. Okay, so we will advance the timer, or our event token, still at 1, but it's moved up a slot. And then we're going to get all of our discards back, which is great. And then we have to resolve an event, so we'll be drawing our first event card. And that is revealed to be mobbed. Add 2 prisoners to your space. If you have a car, discard 1 random action card. Okay, we don't. So we're going to have 2 prisoners added to our space. All right. So 2 prisoners are in the space. And that will complete that event card. Put that in the discards. And now we'll move on to step 2, and we can play 2 face-down action cards. So I'm going to select a couple of those. We're going to need a little combat to get rid of those 2 that are there. So we'll try something like Fighting Retreat. That's going to get us 2 damage. That'll be enough to take those things out and then get us a move. And then I think we will play... Yeah, I want to stay at that hospital, but maybe not. So I guess we will play a speed run. So we'll start with the Fighting Retreat card first. And that says, inflict 2 damage in your space. After attacking, move a space, and then reveal an empty space. So the 2 damage will take care of the 2 prisoners that are there. And then we can move a space. And I'm going to move into this area with the hospital. And then I think we will reveal this space here. And that is a prisoner, a roadblock, and a manhole cover, plus a raft. Okay, that is interesting. All right. So we'll place a prisoner there. That raft is also one of our task items. So that's interesting. All right. All right, that's going to complete the Fighting Retreat card. And then we're going to play Speed Run. And that says move a space and then reveal an empty space next to you. If your new space, if there's no enemies in the new space, we could move again. But I think I'm going to move in there. I'm going to move in there, and we can reveal a space. And I think we'll check this one here. Maybe not. I think I'll check this one. Yeah. And that is a building. It's a safety space for us with 1 prisoner. Okay. And I think Snake is going to use his submachine gun. He'll spend an ammo, and he'll use that to take out the 2 adjoining prisoners that are next to him. That submachine gun has 1 ammo left. We'll raise the noise up by 1 for the use of the submachine gun. That's up to 6. And then we can apply the damage, and we'll get rid of both of these guys that are near us. All right. All right, so that is going to complete the round. We'll account for our noise, and that's a total of 4 this time. And that moves us up to 10. All right, then we're going to go to the New York phase. All right, well, we are at a noise level of 10, so we've reached noise saturation. That means we have to move a cube over to the right-hand side, and that fills that up. So we're going to have to resolve a timer. So we're going to move the clock all the way down to its lowest position, reset these cubes to the leftmost position, and then we have to resolve a timer. And that timer is revealed to be advance the event level 1 space and then resolve it. And so that means we're going to be up to 2 now. We have to resolve 2 events. And we'll start with the first one. First event is dinner bell. New York adds 1 prisoner to up to 2 spaces with a manhole. All right. Well, they would definitely place one in our space. There's no doubt about that. That has a manhole. And another manhole would be probably at this location where the gun shop is. That would make the most sense. Okay. Now we'll do our next event. And this one is careless noise. New York immediately gains 2 noise. So that moves us up to 2 on the noise track. All right. So we need to discard that top card. And then we have to try to pay for this noise. We can't. So we increase the noise by 1 and then just move that card over to the discard. And then we would move any enemies that would be in that configuration. There's no adjacent enemies that will move. So that's going to bring the New York phase to a close. Okay, we're ready for a new round, and I'm going to select the Keep Moving and Butt Whooping card. I'm going to be going into that point of interest. Before we move, though, I'm going to use my submachine gun. That'll be my last round of ammo, and we can use that before or after an action. And we'll use that to get rid of the prisoner that's in our space, and that will allow us to fully use our Keep Moving card. So we'll start out with that. Keep moving. If there are no enemies in your space, you can move a space and then reveal a space next to you. So we're going to move into the point of interest, and we'll reveal that suburban location there. Let's see what that is. And that is a prisoner and an item, and then we'll see what that token is. See what that adds to the situation. And that is another raft. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's get out a cube and a prisoner. Placing that there. And then we'll reveal what this point of interest is. Let's see what that is. And this is the Duke's camp. Uh-oh. The Duke's camp. All right, there's 3 prisoners there. We'll place 3 prisoners in that location, and then we'll read what it says. Enemies in this space can't be tricked. The last 3 prisoners here have 1 extra life point. If there are no enemies here, a hero may take the president's card during their turn. Okay, so these have 1 extra life point. So it's going to take a total of 6 to get rid of them completely. All right, that is the resolution of our first card. Next card we chose was Butt Whooping, and I'm glad I did. It says inflict 4 damage in your space. So that will be sufficient to take out 4 points, leaving 1 prisoner in the Duke's camp. All right, so that's going to complete our round. We're going to be adding a total of 4 noise. That'll move us up to 7. Now we have to receive damage, and we're going to. There is a prisoner in range of us. He has 0, so we're going to take 1 point of damage from that prisoner. And that means we have to randomly discard one of our action cards. So we'll shuffle that up and then randomly take a card and place it on the discard. And that's going to complete our round, and then we will take care of our New York phase. We move the noise up by 1 and discard the top card, and then we attempt to pay for that card. We can. So we're going to move that down to 5 and resolve this card, and this is block the streets. If possible, add 1 roadblock in your space on the road indicated on the back of the top of the New York deck. Okay, so we have to add a barricade or roadblock in the upper right-hand side of the space. So we'll place a roadblock here, and that's unfortunate because I would have liked to have moved in there, but that's where it is. And then we're supposed to move enemies that are adjacent, and none of those enemies that are listed here will work with the space we have. We have one adjacent enemy. He's up over here, and so there is no movement. That'll complete the New York phase. Okay, we'll start a new round, and I'm going to select the skirmish card and the bulldoze through card, and we'll start with the skirmish, and that says inflict 2 damage in your space, so it's sufficient to take out that extra life point prisoner. He's gone. And then we'll play our next card, and that is bulldoze through, and that says move a space destroying 1 roadblock in your way and then reveal 1 empty space next to you. So that's what we'll do. We're going to destroy this roadblock, and we're going to move into that space with the prisoner. So it's open now. We move into here, and then we can reveal a space next to us, and we have to reveal this one. And that is determined to be, a car. All right. So we've got a prisoner, and then there is a car in that space with another roadblock. So we'll place the roadblock to the north and then get a car out. So we place a prisoner with a car in that location. So there's a prisoner on foot and a prisoner with a car. Now I've purposely chosen not to rescue the president yet, because once the president comes in, a lot of things happen, and we still have a lot of things we need to do before we can even attempt to rescue him. We need a bridge plan and different things. So in this case, that's going to end our round. We'll pay for our noise, and that's a total of 2 noise. That will move us up to 7. Next, we're going to take damage, and we will. There is a prisoner in our space, so we have to randomly remove a card. That'll put us down to 2 cards remaining in the deck. And then we'll move on to the New York phase. We'll increase the noise by 1 up to 8 and discard, well, we got to get new cards. There's down to 1 New York card. All right, we've reshuffled the New York deck, so we discard the top card and then see if we can pay for that, and we can. So that'll move that down to 4, and then we have to resolve this card. And this is the big plan. Move a number of cubes equal to the event level. In this case, it's 2. So things are accelerating here. So 2 of those are moved over. All right. The card will go to the discard, and then we have to move enemies according to this schedule. We have no enemies in those spaces to move into his space, so that will complete the round. Now I only have 2 cards left for this next round, and that's the We Go In card and the Keep Moving card. So we'll start out with the We Go In card, and that allows us to resolve an active task, which we don't have one, other than reach a tile with a revealed raft token. Well, I guess we've done that. We have done that. That's this card here. Reach a tile with a revealed raft token. So we've done that. Success, remove a raft token in your space from the game. Add a cop to a revealed space connected to a bridge or to a space where the helicopter is landed, and then gain the reward. Okay, so we will remove the raft, and we've completed that. That's great. And incidentally, I forgot, but we've revealed 2 timers, so we should have been replacing cards on our displays. So this is our reward for that card we just completed. So we have to reconfigure these, slide them down. That would have been the first one. with a reward card. And this is the next one, and this is a special card. That's a timer card. So what will happen there is that will be discarded. Now this shows us the amount of rewards that we're going to need to win the game now. But we've moved into stage 2, and we have to move Bob Houck down 1. All right. And that was a good card for us. We ended up, our reward was 2 points. So we've got a total of 3 reward points right now, and that is awesome. And we need to reveal another task, and that is reload weapons. Okay. So we've done that. And I should have done this as we were doing the timers, but I forgot about it because this is a new mechanism. So, all right, so we've got reload weapons. Discard 2 item cards when on the library. Come on, we're wasting time. Have a car or a taxi. Okay. Now we played that We Go In card, and that allows us to also activate the unlocked cop actions. And at that time, well, we would have been on level 2 at this point. So that means we can do both of those special actions, and both of those are identical. Move all cops a space, or all cops inflict 1 damage at range 1. Now that success that we had in completing this Is Someone Escaping also gives us a cop to a revealed space connected to a bridge or to a space where the helicopter has landed. So we're going to place an extra cop, I think, at this location here. Gives us 2 of them. Then they would activate, and we'll use that within a range of 1 to get rid of this prisoner that's next door to them. All right, that's going to complete the We Go In card, and this Keep Moving card we won't be able to use because it says if there are no enemies in your space. Well, we have an enemy there, so that card cannot be enacted, but the noise is counted. So that's our next step. And we'll count for our noise, and we have spent a total of 3 noise on this round. So we will add that into our noise total. These cards are hard to pick up. That gives us a total of 7 noise. All right, next we're going to take damage. But in this case, we don't have any action cards. And we started the round with 2. And now we've spent the 2, and we have none. So I'm not sure what we have to do in this case. And the rules state that when a player receives damage from enemies, they must randomly discard that many action cards from their hand if possible. A player's hand may run out of cards. The player cannot receive any more damage until their next turn. So that is the case. And we'll move on to the New York phase. Okay, we'll advance the noise up to 8 and then discard the card and see if we can pay for it. We can. That's 4. That moves us down to 4, and we have to resolve it, and that is ambush. Well, there's no bosses on the board yet, so we've gotten lucky in that regard. That will complete the round with the exception of any possible moves from adjacent prisoners, and there won't be any with these diagrams. All right. Now we're ready to begin our next round. Now we have no cards, so we have no choice but to receive all of our discards, and then we've got to resolve a timer. And that one is revealed to be, you may reveal 1 POI of your choice. Okay, that is great. Let's see what we want to do with that. Well, I guess we'll reveal the nearest POI, which would be this one. And that is Romero and Company. Okay. And that card, we will take a look at that more closely. That card says, when you reveal this space, move Romero here. Then add the Romero and Company special action card to the New York deck. Okay. Okay, so Romero will appear there, along with 2 prisoners. And there's also a manhole there. Okay. Now, Romero has a special ability. It says that put the case 1 token in the space where Romero dies. So he has that case right now. All right, so we've got all of our cards right now. This card has been dealt with. That's that revealing of the POI. And now we can select 2 action cards for this round. And I'm going to choose the cards Skirmish and Fighting Retreat. And we'll use the Fighting Retreat card first. And that one says, inflict 2 damage in your space. After attacking, move a space and then reveal another empty space next to us. So we're going to take out this prisoner that's there. We're going to claim the item, but we're going to apply that to our card so that we can get our level up. Then we're going to move into an adjacent space, and that will complete that Fighting Retreat card. Our next card now that we chose was Skirmish, and I wish I would have chosen a little bit more, but we didn't know. It says inflict 2 damage in your space. So what we're going to do is take out the driver of the car. He has an extra hit point when he's in a car, so that is going to now be an abandoned car, and we'll get a white base for that. So that is an abandoned car now. Okay, and that is the extent of our activations, and we have to pay for this cost, and that's a total of 3. So 3 noise will move us up to 7. Now we're going to take some damage, and there is 1 prisoner in our space. He has a range of 0, so we have to randomly select a card from our action hand and discard it. And we've done that right now. Now we're able to level up, and we have the proper criteria. Let's take a look at it. We've got a prisoner and an item there, so we can get rid of that and reveal the next level. And it says choose and add 1 special action card to your hand. You can also change your personal objective. Okay. I'm going to select the Intimidate special action card, and we'll add that to our hand. Put that in our draw pile. And then we can reveal our next assignment here, and that's going to be 2 prisoners and an item token. Now we have the option to change 1 personal objective. And I think I am going to change this personal objective here with the tape. We'll see what we get. And this one is similar, but this one is if the president has been rescued by any hero or the top timer is red, you may complete a lone victory if you have the fake tape. Okay, so it's a little different. Now I should point out, we do have this special action. It says once per turn, you may discard 1 action card you played without revealing it to inflict 2 damage in your space, or move 1 space and reveal any 1 empty space next to you. We also have this trash can lid. I've been saving that, but it says ignore all damage you receive until your next turn. So we do have those things available to us. All right, next up we have to go to our New York phase. We're going to raise our noise up to 8, discard the top card, and then see if we can pay for this. We can, so that'll move that down to 4, and then we have to resolve this. And that's Ambush. Move all bosses in play towards your space using manholes too. All the enemies attack heroes in range, choosing the target to attack in ascending hand size order. The current player breaks ties. Okay, so we do have a boss on the board. Romero is on the board, so he has a movement value of 2. He's going to utilize the manhole cover in his space, which will connect to another manhole cover. He'll move to this space with the manhole, and for his second movement, he'll move into this space, getting him closer towards his target. And now it says all heroes in range will attack. That means that Romero with a range of 1 will attack, and the prisoner in Snake Plissken's space will also attack. We're going to utilize our trash can lid. And that says ignore all damage you receive until your next turn. So we're going to use that. And that will prevent us from losing 3 points of damage. Romero would have done 2 and 1 for the normal prisoner. Now we only have 1 card left in the deck, and we have to reshuffle that and then see if there's going to be any movement of any prisoners. I don't believe so, because we're in a space with a prisoner and there's none adjacent. All right, we've reshuffled the deck. I'm going to give that a cut. We've added the Romero card in there, so we will cut that. And that is our new deck. And there won't be any movements. There are no adjacent enemies to us, so that's going to bring that round to a close. All right, we're ready for our next round, and I'm going to select the cards Fight and We Go In. We'll start with the Fight card, and that will allow us to do 3 damage in our space, taking out the prisoner that's there. Now we are alone with a car, and we're going to claim that car for ourselves. So Snake is now in this location with a car. And then we gain a car card. All right, our next action is the We Go In action. It says resolve an active task card and or activate the unlocked cop actions. All right, well, we can. It says here on this card here, it is, come on, we're wasting time. Have a car or a taxi, and we've done that. Success, add a cop to a revealed space connected to a bridge or the space where the helicopter has landed, then gain 1 reward. Okay, so we're going to add another cop. Maybe we'll put this cop at, no, I think we'll put it in the space where those other cops were. So we'll do that. And we get our reward, and the reward is worth 1. So that's good. We've got a total of 4 rewards now. All right. And that goes to our discarded cards area on that display. Now we have 2 special actions that we can use thanks to Hauk. We have move all cops a space or all cops inflicted damage at range 1. So we're going to do the first one by moving all cops. We'll move them into the hospital area. And then for the second action that we're allowed to use on that cop display, same thing. All cops inflict 1 damage at a range of 1. And we're going to go after Romero. We're going to inflict a total of 3 damage to him. That's great. So Romero is going to lose 3 health. 1, 2, and 3. He's down to 2 hit points. Now it says if you have 1, you may move using your car. Well, I think we're going to do that. I'm going to move into the space with Romero because this is a protected space. Heroes in the space ignore all damage received. So we're in the space with Romero. Now we have to discard the cards that we played, and that's going to be a total of 4 noise. That's going to move our noise up to 8. Now we would normally receive damage from enemies in range, but we're in that protected space, so that's great. We'll move on to the New York phase. So for the New York phase, we advance the noise and then discard the top card, and it is a 5, so we can pay for that. That will be moving us down to 4, and then we've got to resolve this. And it says, if you touch me, he dies. Romero and Company special card. Place this as a prisoner bonus. Then check the cost of the top New York card. Pay, if possible, its noise cost and play it. Otherwise discard it and New York gains 1 noise. All right. So this card is going to go to the prisoner bonuses area, and it's going to give them +1 to range. So we will tip that card this way. And we can pay for the cost of the noise. It says if you can, check the cost of the top card. Pay, if possible, its noise cost and play it. So that'll move us down to 0. And we have to play this card. And that is the big plan. Move a number of mission cubes equal to the event level to the right. If there are no mission cubes in the left box, reveal the timer tile and return the mission cubes to the left. So that is going to happen. These are going to move there. It's going to activate the timer. Those will move back. And we'll see what happens. So we have to reveal this top timer card. Let's see what that is. And this one is, if the helicopter has not yet landed, you may move the heliport to any space revealed or unrevealed in Central Park. Okay. And I think we'll do that. We'll move the heliport to this spot in Central Park. It'll be a little closer to us. And then we would move any adjacent enemies. We have Romero in our space, and there are no enemies adjacent to us, so that's going to end the round. All right, we'll start our next round, and I'm going to choose the butt whooping card and speed run. We'll start with butt whooping. That's going to do a total of 4 damage in the space, and that's going to kill Romero. Romero is dead, and it says here, put case 1 token in the space where Romero dies. So we will do that. Romero is gone. And now, since there are no enemies there, we can take the case, and we'll see what that's all about. That card is revealed to be Tracer. You and any other heroes in your space may complete a collective victory using the helicopter instead of a bridge. When you reveal this card, to complete a collective victory, you must resolve a timer tile before trying to escape. Okay, that's interesting. That is our second item in our personal supply. The next card that we selected was Speed Run, and that will allow us to move a space and then reveal an empty space and then do it again. So I think what we'll do is I'll try to head for let's take a think about this. We still have to find the tape, so we're going to have to head for another point of interest, I think. So I think what I'll do is I will move to here, revealing this space, which is an enemy and an event. And then it says we can do the same if we're not in a space with an enemy. So I guess we'll move here and then reveal this space. Let's see what's there. Same thing, an enemy and an event. All right. So those are the 2 actions. All right. I desperately need some ammunition, that's for sure. Now, since we have a car, it says here, if you have one, you may move using your car. Unfortunately, the requirements for that are we have to not have an enemy in the space, so we can't move. And we're going to have to resolve an event. And in this case, we have to resolve 2 of them because that's where the level is. Here's the first one. And this one is mobbed. Add 2 prisoners to your space. If you have a car, discard a random action card. Oh boy, well, that's what we're going to have to do. So we'll add the 2 prisoners to our space. That's not good. And then we have discarded a card. We have 3 cards left in our hand, and now we have to resolve an additional event. And this one is you're A number 1. New York removes all damage from each boss in play. Well, luckily we got rid of Romero before that happened. So in this case, no one has any additional damage in the bosses, so that was pretty good. And now, unfortunately, we have to receive damage from enemies in range. There's 3 of them in our space, so we're going to lose all of our cards. All the cards are gone now. And we'll move on to the New York phase. All right, we ended up using a total of 5 noise during that turn. So that puts us at 5. That's where we should be. Now we have to discard the top card, raising the noise another one, and we'll see if we can pay for it. We can. That'll move us down to 2, and we'll resolve the card. And this is Ambush. Move all bosses in play. We have none. So we got lucky with that card. Now we'll see about moving enemies that are nearby. And we're going to have some movement. There's going to be an enemy from the south moving up into our space. So this enemy is going to move in. Now we've got a total of 4 in our space. That's dangerous. Well, we're going to start a new round, and we're out of cards. So that means we have to do a timer action and recover all of our actions. And here's our next timer card. And this time it is. If the helicopter has not yet landed, you can move the heliport to any space, revealed or unrevealed, in Central Park. We'll leave it where we've got it. That's as close to us as we can get, so that was pretty good for us. Not too bad. All right, next step is to play 2 face-down cards. We're going to start out with butt whooping, and then we'll do a keep moving. So the butt whooping is going to allow us to inflict 4 damage in our space. And that's what we'll do. And 4 is just enough to get rid of these guys. So take all those out. We'll place one of them on our display, moving towards our level 3 level up. Our next card is going to be keep moving. If there's no enemies in our space, move a space and reveal an empty space. Okay. So I think we are going to move into this space here, which is one of those that surround the library. There's no additional spaces to reveal at this point, and that's going to complete our actions. Then it says if we have one, we can use our car, and we will do so. I'm going to use the car to move an additional space down. We're going to try to head back towards this area and maybe get to the POI in that location to the south. All right, we're going to discard the cards that we've used, and we've used a total of 4 noise. That's going to move our noise up to 6. There's no enemies in our space or adjacent that can inflict damage to us, and so that's it. We're going to move on now to the New York phase. Okay, we're going to increase our noise by 1, discarding the top card. And now we can pay for this. That's 3, so that'll move us down to 4, and we'll resolve this card, and that is Wandering Villains. Add 2 prisoners to your space. Okay. All right, so we've done that. Now we're down to 1 card, so we're supposed to reshuffle all the cards, and that includes this prisoner's range card that we've got. If you touch me, he dies. So this gets reshuffled in with the other cards, and we will do that right now. All right, so we're ready to start a new turn, and I'm going to play 2 cards, and we're going to see if we can try to get, we need to find the tape is basically what we need, and then we can go back and get the president. We also need a bridge diagram, but we can't escape through the heliport because we have that tracer. All right, I'm going to select the cards Skirmish and Keep Moving, and we'll start with the Skirmish card, and that allows us to inflict 2 damage in our space. It'll take out the 2 enemies that are there. Our next card is Keep Moving. If there are no enemies in your space, move a space and reveal an empty space next to us. And we'll do that. We're going to move into the hospital, and we'll reveal this space here. And that one is 2 enemies. All right, so we'll place 2 enemies there and a barricade. We'll get a barricade out. So we'll place a barricade here. And that is our round. Now it says here if we have a car, we can use one to move our car. So we'll use the car, and we're going to move a space. We'll move into that POI, and we'll reveal this space here. And that one is an enemy with a car, and another enemy. So we've got 2 enemies and 1 with a car. All right, so we'll place these enemies. That's the car and the 2 enemies. The roadblock won't matter because that's going into the water. Okay, now we'll see what our POI is. And that one is the Vagrants. Oh boy, we're in trouble here. All right, that's got 3 enemies, a manhole, and an item. So we'll place that on the card, and that's where we're at. Okay, now we are going to receive damage, and there are 3 enemies in our space within range, so we're going to have to give up 3 cards randomly from our hand. So I'll shuffle those and get rid of 3. Okay. And incidentally, we need to move up our noise by 2. That puts us at 6. Okay, we'll move on to our New York phase, increasing the noise, discarding the card, and we can pay for that. That's 3, so that moves us down to 4. And this time we've got block the streets. If possible, add a roadblock to your space. Okay, the roadblock is going to be in the northwest corner of our space. So we will add a roadblock there. And then we will do the movements of the enemies that are nearby, and they're coming. They're going to be coming from this space, so these 2 guys are going to move in. Oh boy. And this space, the upper, yep, these are coming in as well. We got a whole grouping in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. We got to get out of here. Okay, so that will complete the New York phase. We'll begin our next round, and I'm going to choose the cards Fighting Retreat and Take a Breather. So our Fighting Retreat will allow us to inflict 2 damage in the space we're on, so we can get rid of 2 of these guys. And then it says you may move any number of willing heroes in your space with you. After attacking, move a space. So we're going to move to the hospital. We'll move there, and then we can reveal an empty space, and that'll have to be this one. And that's revealed to be 2 enemies. This is not good. We'll place 2 enemies there. And that's our Fighting Retreat card. Our next card was Take a Breather, and we can return up to 2 discarded cards from our hand, and that's what we'll do. And I'm going to return the Keep Moving and the Fight card to my hand. Next, it says if we have a car, we can use it. I don't know. I think I'll remain there because we got a hospital there, and we'll be able to utilize that to get a couple of cards back. Next up is we have to discard the cards that we played. That'll be a total of 3 noise, moving us up to 7 noise. Next, we're going to receive damage. There's none in our space, and nobody has any range bonuses, so we're good for the time being. We can't level up, but we can activate the building, and we will do that. If you activate this building, return 2 discarded cards to your action hand. Okay. And I'm going to return the cards Keep Moving and Take a Breather. Next up is the New York phase. We're up to 8 now. That card is discarded. And then we can pay the 4. That'll move us down to 4, and then we have to enact the card. And this one is Ambush. There are no bosses on the board at this point, so we are good for the time being. We'll discard that, and then we'll see about the movements, and this is not good. Virtually all of the spaces around us are going to move enemies into our space. That means all 5 of those from the Vagrant's location are moving into our space. That is not good. So all of these guys are moving in. And these 2 are also going to move in. So we're right back where we were here. All right. That is the end of the New York phase, and we'll start a new round. All right, I'm going to play the cards Keep Moving and Speed Run, and we'll start with the Speed Run card. And that says, move a space and then reveal an empty space next to you. So we're going to move into this space. There's nothing to reveal there, and then it says if no enemies in your new space, you can move 1 space again. And we will do so. I'm going to move, I think, here. All right, that is the end of that Speed Run card. Our next one is a Keep Moving card. We have no enemies in the space, and we can move a space and then reveal an adjacent space. And I think I'll move into this space, and we will reveal the I'll reveal this. Yeah, I'll reveal the Central Park space. We'll see what's there. This one is a manhole cover and an event. Now the events only go off if you move in there, so we're good for the time being. I apologize for that. It was out of the frame. We ended up moving into this space, and we revealed this Central Park tile there. All right. That is our 2 actions. And then it says if you have one, you can use a car to move again. And I think we'll do that. I'm going to move into this space with the POI, and then we can reveal another space, I believe. I'm going to check that car card. Yes, that is true. So we will reveal this space here. And that one is an enemy, an event, a block into the water, and another enemy. So 2 enemies. So we'll place the 2 enemies there, and then we can reveal the POI. And that is the Gathering. When you reveal this space, put case number 3 here. Okay, so case number 3 and 3 more enemies. Wow, there's not many left in the supply. All right. Then we have to discard the cards that we played, and we ended up using 3 noise. That'll move us up to 7. And we have to receive damage, and we're going to be taking 3 points of damage. So 3 cards are going to be removed from our hand, giving us 1 card. And that is going to complete the round. We'll move on to the New York phase. Noise goes up to 8. We'll discard this card and pay for this one. That's 4. It moves us down to 4, and then we'll resolve it. And that says destroy the Gullfire. If the Gullfire has already been destroyed, New York gains 3 noise. Otherwise, add a prisoner to the Gullfire space. And when there's 4 or more there, the Gullfire is removed from the game, and we'd have to reveal a timer. Okay. All right, we've placed the prisoner on the Gullfire, and now we're down to 1 card in the action deck, so those have to be reshuffled, and then we'll see about the movements. And prisoners that are going to be from the upper right and lower left will move. So that's going to move these 2 prisoners in through that space, and not the lower left though. So, okay, there's 5 prisoners in our space. We're down to 1 card, so we're going to have to be doing a recovery, and we'll have to do another timer. Okay, here's the next timer card. And this one is, you may reveal a POI tile of your choice. Okay. Well, there's a total of 3 unrevealed ones. I guess we will reveal this one. And that is the coffee shop. Okay, that's got 2 items there. We'll place those there. Okay, so we'll put 2 items there. All right. Now, since we revealed the timer, I should have been adding new cards to the active tasks. So this would have been the one from before. That would have been the situation then, and now we have to do another one. So this one would drop off. These would slide down. And we draw another one. And this one is Romero is down. Reach the Romero and Company tile after Romero has been defeated. Okay. All right, we're going to select a couple cards. I think if we can get 5 damage, we'll be able to pick up that case. So I'm going to try to get enough to do 5 damage here. And I guess we're going to play a fight and a skirmish card that will be exactly equal to 5 damage. So we'll start out with the skirmish card. That'll inflict 2 damage. And then we're going to play the fight card, which inflicts 3. And so we've cleared the space of all of the enemies, and we're going to take a look at case number 3. And case number 3 is the tape. That's what we needed. Now we can actually try to rescue. Well, actually not yet. We need to find a bridge diagram. But we do have case 3, so that is something. We can attempt to escape since we have the tracer. We are able to, you and other heroes in your space may complete a collective victory using the helicopter instead of the bridge. When you reveal this, we'd have to do an extra timer tile reveal. So I guess we can do that, but see, so we don't need the bridge diagram necessarily. I have the tape. I would have to go back and get the president and then try to exit from the heliport. All right, the next step is if we have a car, we can use it, and I will use it. I'm going to move here. And that is going to complete that portion. Then we have to discard the cards that we played, and it's going to move up the noise by 3, moving us up to 7. All right, we're not going to take any damage. We have no enemies in range, and we can't level up at this point, and there's no building to activate, so we'll go to the New York phase. Okay, we'll move the noise up by 1, discarding the top card. We can pay for this one, that's 3, moving us down to 5. And this one is Wandering Villains. Add 2 prisoners to your space. All right, so we've done that, and now we'll see about there's any adjacent enemies going to move, and there will be. No, there won't, because there is a roadblock there. He would normally want to move in there, but he can't. So, all right, that is going to end our round. All right, for our next round, I'm going to play Fighting Retreat and Speed Run. We'll start out with the Fighting Retreat, and that is going to allow us to inflict 2 damage in our space, and we will do that. So we've taken out those 2 enemies. Then it says we can, after attacking, we can move a space and then reveal an unrevealed space. So we're going to go into, I think, this space here. That's where we're at. There's no enemies there. Next is going to be the speed run. We're going to try to get back and get the president. Move a space and reveal an empty tile. So we'll move here. Hopefully that's still in frame. Yes, okay. And then it says if that's an empty space, we can move an additional space, and we will. We're into that space now. All right. Those will be all of our actions. Since we have the car, we're going to use that to move an additional space, and I will move into this space here. All right. Okay, we'll account for our time, or noise rather, that's 4 points. That's going to move us up to 9. So we're at 9 right now. All right. We'll take no damage, and we'll go to the New York phase. Move the noise up by 1, discarding the top card. And we can pay for that. That's 4. That moves us down to 6. And this is an ambush. Move all bosses. Well, there are none, so that's good. And then it's just a matter of moving any enemies that are adjacent to us, and there are none, so that will complete the round. All right, we need to get back to the Duke's camp, pick up the president. We have the tape. We've got enough of our rewards to be able to escape, which is good. And then we do have that tracer, so we could exit through the heliport. That would be another option. It's going to take another card though, unfortunately. So I'm going to select 2 cards to start this round. We need some movement. I think we'll start out with 2 keep moving cards. First one will allow us to move in a space and then reveal an empty space, and it's going to have to be that one. And that is revealed to be an enemy, and an enemy with a car and a roadblock. I'll get out a car enemy. All right, so we've got a roadblock here and a car enemy. All right. Now we're going to use our next keep moving card, and we'll move into the space with the police force. That's also a hospital. Okay, our next option is if we want to use a car, and I think I will stay where I am. I want to take advantage of that hospital there. So, if that's the case, then we will discard the cards that we used, and we ended up using 2 keep moving cards, which will generate 2 noise. That moves us up to 8. We're not going to receive any damage, but we can use the building, and I'm going to do that. That'll allow us to get 2 discarded cards back into our hand. And I'm going to take the cards Fighting Retreat and Speed Run. We'll add those back into the hand, and that's going to complete the round. We'll go to the New York phase. All right, we're at the New York phase. We'll move that up 1, discard the top card. We can pay for that. That's 4. It puts us down to 5, and then we have to reveal this, and that's the big plan. So 2 cubes are going to move over to the other side because that is our current event level. And that is going to complete that. And then enemies from all sides are going to be moving into our space. And so that enemy and the enemy with the car will both move into the space, and that'll complete the round. All right, I'm going to play the cards Butt Whoopin' and Speed Run, and we'll begin with the Butt Whoopin' card that allows us to do 4 damage in our space. So 2 to take out the one with the car, and 1 to take out the prisoner that's there, and there's an abandoned car there now. So we'll place an abandoned car there. And the next card was a Speed Run card. And that's going to allow us to move a space, and then if it's empty, we can move again. And we'll do that. We're going to move here and reveal a space. That'll be this one. That is a hospital and a manhole and a raft. Okay, so that's what we've got there. Now we can move an additional space. We're going to move into the Duke's camp. And now, since there's no enemies there, we're going to take the president. So we have claimed the president. When this card is collected for the first time, add a prisoner to each adjacent revealed space. If it has not already, the helicopter lands at the heliport. Then reveal all unrevealed POI tiles and discard that many number of timer tiles without resolving their effects. Finally, place the Duke on the Nothing Here space. You and any other heroes in your space may complete a collective victory. This card cannot be discarded for purposes of any reason. Okay, so let's take care of that. So we'll place a prisoner on each adjacent space. All right. Then we reveal any unrevealed POIs. There's 2 of them. That's the Nothing Here and the Arena. Okay, when you reveal this card, place Slag there. All right. And then Nothing Here. When you reveal this space, add Nothing Here special action card to the deck. And when the president is taken by a hero, move the Duke here. So the Duke is there. He's on the opposite side of the board. And then we'll be adding in that extra card into the New York deck. So we'll be adding the card, the president is gone. We'll shuffle that into the deck. Now, in order to make space for the president, we have to discard the president's bracelet. So that will be placed in a case in our current location. So the president's bracelet is in case number 3, and then we have to discard 2 timer cards. These are not played, 1 and 2, and now we're in the hurry up mode. Immediately reveal this tile. Okay, got to do that. And it says, if not already, the helicopter lands at the heliport. So we will flip that over, and that has landed in Central Park, and that's where we're going to be heading. That says heroes that have reached level 3 can escape from New York by completing their personal objectives. Okay. All right, we've resolved all of our cards. We're going to use our car, and we're going to move into this space here. That is a protected space. We can ignore all damage there, which is great. Now, we've played a total of 5 noise, so that's going to come back and haunt us. That will move the noise up to 10. We won't receive any damage because we're in that protected space. So we'll move on to the New York phase. All right, well, we have to move the noise up. We can't. So it says here, if you can't gain 1 noise for any effect, move 1 mission cube to the right instead. Okay, so we will discard this card and then see if we could pay for this one, and we can. That's 4. Moves this down to 6. We'll resolve it, and that is destroy the Gulfire. So we're going to place a second prisoner at World Trade Center 1. And then any prisoners from virtually all sides are going to enter our space. In this case, only the prisoner from the north is eligible. This one would be, but that is considered a block on that card, so there's nothing there. And that's going to bring the New York phase to a close. Incidentally, we did reveal another card. That was that heliport. So we're going to have to discard that end card. These are going to move down. And then we have to reveal our next task. Okay, and the 2 to 3 card is now revealed. That's going to move Hauk down to the 3rd spot. All right, and we need to have a total of 9 minimum points to get a full pardon. 9. Oh boy, right now we've got 4. I wasn't counting on that. Wow. Well, I think we're going to head for Romero and Company location. That would get us a success there, and then maybe that might be enough to get us the rewards that we'll need. Well, our new round, I'm going to be playing Fighting Retreat and Take a Breather. We'll start out with the Fighting Retreat, and that's going to allow us to inflict 2 damage in our space. So we'll take care of those 2 guys. And then it says we can move a space and reveal an empty space. So I guess we will move into this space, and then we'll reveal that one. And that is revealed to be an enemy with a manhole cover. All right, we'll place an enemy there. And that was the first card. Next is Take a Breather, and we can take 2 cards back. And I'm going to return the cards Keep Moving and Fight to my hand. All right. Next up, I'm going to use my car, and we're going to move into this space to the northeast up here. I don't want to get any event cards, so we'll move into there. Then we're going to pay for our noise, which we have used up a total of 3 points of noise. That moves us up to 9. All right, we're going to take some damage. We're in a space with 1 prisoner, so we will have to discard 1 card. And then we'll move on to the New York phase. New York is down to 1 card, so we're going to have to shuffle all those and get a new draw deck. All right, we'll advance the noise. We're at 10 and discard the top card. And we can pay for that one. That's 3. It moves us down to 7. And that card is Block the Streets, if possible, at a roadblock. Okay, well, we can add a roadblock to that location. It's going to be in the lower left corner. So we'll put a roadblock there. All right. And now we will move the prisoners. They're going to come from all sides except from that roadblock. So those that are coming from Romero and Company, and those that are coming from the World Trade Center. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're getting overrun here. So those are coming in, these are coming in. Got 5 prisoners there, and that's the end of the round. All right, we'll start a new round. I'm going to begin with Bulldoze Through, and then we're going to play the We Go In card. So we'll start out with the Bulldoze Through. It says move a space, destroying a roadblock in the way, if any, and then reveal an empty space. We're going to move into Romero's and Company space, and I guess we'll reveal this space here. And let's see what that is. That one is 2 enemies and a roadblock. Oh boy. All right, so we'll place the 2 enemies and a roadblock. Whoops, that's the wrong space. That goes here, and then a roadblock here. Apologize for that. Okay. Next is the We Go In card. Now, we have a mission here that says Romero is down. Reach the Romero and Company tile after Romero has been defeated. Add a cop to a revealed space connected to a bridge or to the space where the helicopter has landed, and then gain Reward 2 card. All right. We're going to add the new cop to the heliport. We might need him. So we'll place him at the heliport in Central Park. Unfortunately, this reward is only worth 2, so right now we are at 6, and we need to get 9. Now, the We Go In card also allows us to activate and unlock cop actions. Now, we've got 3 of them. The new one is choose a space with at least 1 cop, steal 1 reward card from another hero in that space, and add it to yours. Well, that one won't apply, but we can use these other 2, and that's where we can move and inflict damage from all cops. And I think we're going to move these cops into this space, and then we'll do it again, moving them into this space. And that'll put them within adjacent to that big group of prisoners there. All right. Since we have no prisoners in our space, I'm going to utilize that car, and that'll move into this space with a building, and we are immune from any damage, which is good. Now we have to pay for our time, and we've used up 3 time. That will move us up to 10. We will receive no damage, and we're not able to level up yet, so we'll go on to the New York phase. All right, we can't move the noise up any further, so that means we have to move a cube over, and as soon as we get 4 of them there, we have to reveal a timer, so that'll get reset. So that's going to move the noise marker back to its starting position, and we got to reveal a timer. And here's the timer card. Let's see what it is. Time is up. New York wins the game, and all heroes lose the game. Oh no. All right, well, let's do a quick recap of this and see what my thoughts are on this new expansion. Well, I have to say the new expansion does brighten the game up quite a bit. Gives you that extra element in the victory sequence. In this case, we only had a total of 6 reward points. We needed 9 because of that random card that we placed in there at the setup. So this really does add an extra element to it, and I think I would probably play with this expansion for each game that I would play of this. So far I'm 0 for 2 with this game, but I do like it, and it does capture the feel of the movie quite well. You actually feel like you're in the movie. I think in a future playthrough I might end up doing a solo but multiplayer version so we could see some of the other characters in the game, like Cabby and Brains. And that's going to bring this playthrough to a close. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough with the new expansion, and I look forward to seeing you again at the channel very soon. In the meantime, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club signing off and wishing everyone a pleasant evening. Good night.